I did say that.
You did.
You playing tonight?
Tonight? Oh, tonight?
Yeah, or today.
For both of us?
Huh? Are you playing online?
Yeah, I'll be streaming it.
Yeah.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. Saturday nights fights.
Saturday Night Rumble.
Okay, so this was the last hand, and I remember this hand because we talked about not betting turn, and we talked about just double checking it, and double checking this turn, and then folding to any reasonable sizing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. And definitely not play our hand like this.
I mean, yeah, once you get there.
It's not bad on river. River's not bad. But turn, we don't need to lead turn.
I would probably pile on that 4,800 chip bet a lot.
Yeah, but you're good.
Yeah.
I would just be like, you just repped like a flush,
right?
Or
well, because
like
you have the ace of hearts.
Yeah, if you're repping a flush, like you would go at least 8K.
I mean, it's super weak of this guy, but I'm just saying, like, most people aren't very good.
Right.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. You're going to get crushed by anybody competent.
Yep.
With holding what they're holding.
And I'm assuming that these guys aren't competent, you know?
Yeah, it looks like you're blocking with the jack that got, I guess, counterfeited. I don't know what the term is when your straight gets on the board, but yeah, it looks like you had like something like that. So
yeah, but this guy's thinking instead, darn it, I missed. Gotta toss my hand.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn. That's a good jam, I guess.
We get piled on here. It's a pretty easy. I would think, especially against a player of my caliber, I would think this is a very easy jam.
Yeah, I would jam there too.
And holdage.
It's okay.
It's nice when all their aces are out of the deck, though. One ace, two ace. They have one out.
That's nice.
And two of their sevens are out of the deck too. Isn't
drawing dead to the 7?
Mm-hmm.
They have 1 7 and 1 ace in the deck. That's not too comforting. So we gotta hold. We see under they're gonna open middle position flat. And what do we prefer here, guys?
Was this a 3x from under the gun and then a call from UTG2? Is that what that was?
Yep. And we're playing 7-handed. It looks like.
You're gonna have to wait. I can't open
I would almost always just call.
Yeah.
Just eat this for now.
I'm not too thrilled with the Ace-3 of Hearts. That guy, his flat. I mean, it just seems like it could be strong. It could be weak. In this case, it's weak.
Yeah. With this extra money, yeah, I assume it's weak too. With it, and like, so I kind of assume that it's just like dead money. It kind of tempts me to just put in a squeeze here, you know.
There's nothing. It can't be wrong to squeeze this either.
So
it would also depend a little about if we know anything about under the gun.
Right, and I don't think I have. Let's see here if I can get this open actually. Let's see if we can get poker. I have stats on these guys from my poker tracker.
Okay, that might be interesting because you do use that.
It's a good spot to squeeze, and probably one of your best candidates too. But 3x from under the gun is pretty tough.
How does everybody have? How do two people have ace queen and then one has ace king and one has ace 3 of hearts? Like, this is bullshit.
This is not cards.
I think people can never have the same hand.
Yeah, but you know what? When I was playing live, like, I was heads up with this guy, and he magically had aces when I had jacks.
Rigged.
Yeah, totally rigged.
I know, right? Okay, so the big blind was 800. So I'm just gonna find that. Okay, here we go. So who was the guy? So we're looking at for the read on the under the gun. Is that right?
Yeah, I just was curious if we had any stats on the guy, because I know you would be looking at that normally in the tournament, I would think. But yeah, I would imagine you probably mix between flatting and squeezing.
Yeah, so this guy I have 57 hands on.
Okay.
And he's playing 26-19, 26-12. So VPIP 26, PFR 19, race versus 26, 3-bet 12.
Yeah, that would push me more towards a squeeze. But I think the calling there is very standard and fine.
And then the guy who's flatting has played 23 hands and has only played like one hand out of those 23.
I would discount this second guy as weaker. I think, yes, there are people that are capable of calling here with strong hands like kings or aces or whatever, but I think in general people are calling with this kind of bullshit. They have an awkward stack and they have a hand they want to play.
Yep. They've waited 20 hands to see a suited ace that they can play.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is crazy, right? To think about that, but
a lot of times not a lot, but sometimes in these situations you squeeze and the original guy folds and the guy with the shit hand ends up calling or getting it in because they're like, well, blah blah blah. It's like, wow, okay, great.
Right, and if I squeeze here, I'm never folding to a back jam from this under the gun 2 guy.
Oh, right. Yeah, you'll be priced in.
But they don't. I mean,
we're going to be priced in, but we also don't think they're going to be just flatting ace king here or aces or kings or queens. Like the worst
you'll
we
be
are.
Flipping out wires.
The worst we are is a flip. Yeah, and that's a good case. That's a good scenario.
And then you're priced in.
So I could go either way, flatting, but I also like the idea of squeezing here. We do just decide to flat. We see an all in. And this is where I actually tanked here. I actually tanked on stream in this spot. With like all this money in the middle. Like 24, 24, 24, 24. And he's jamming 30 bigs. Like 31 bigs, actually. And it's kind of like tempting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the best hand you fold. If anything, yeah.
I think on stream too, I was like, because in the past I've called off here in this spot a lot.
Yeah.
And I've been owned so many times in this spot calling off with a hand like this.
You burnt your hand enough times on the stove.
I have, and I was like, it's like it sure looks like a really good squeeze pot for a hand like ace jack suited, or even like ace 10 suited and some pocket pairs. But like in this kind of field where we have a big freaking stack already, we don't need to take these like marginally profitable, break even spots.
Yeah, and it probably helped that you got to see his hand.
You got to see his hand later.
No, you got because the big blind's all in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So it probably did help to make the fold, knowing that you're going to see.
Actually, you know what? That helps me. That helps me a lot of times make a fold because then I'll see what they have.
Yeah.
It does psychologically, like
in game. I think it helps to like if you're making a big fold, you don't want to be like fucking thinking about it for 30 minutes when you can just see it, right away.
Right? You're like, am I gonna regret this later?
Yeah.
And you always and then
obviously you're supposed to just move on, but big folds.
if you don't call here, you're like, is he just gonna keep making moves on me?
Right. Should have nipped it in the bud early.
Right? Yeah, and so we don't really, and like this guy behind me, too, is like, he's only been at the table for 6 hands and hasn't played a hand, And so I think at the time I was just like, I can't give him credit for being like a sicko who's gonna squeeze jam, super light here. We just have to assume that they're random, and therefore that they are probably under squeezing here, if anything.
Yeah.
And
Guys, keep going. I'll be right back.
And so yeah, we decided to make the fold and got punished. Would have won.
Damn.
What a noob, Lappy. What a noob. Right? Isn't that what everybody's gonna say?
6 stack.
Oh yeah, that's what they all say all the time. No. False.
They're like, you would have won,
False.
Lappy. You're not good at poker. Stop streaming.
False.
But yeah, I don't know. This made me really happy though. I think just finding a fold here in this spot.
It's a good fold.
Where in the past I might not have always made the fold. So yeah, we're sitting pretty good here. And this is a great tournament. They're gonna run this again here soon, aren't they? It's actually
a Wednesday one?
Day after Christmas, yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And Stretchy's gonna forget about it, and
that's true.
Until the day of when Lappy gives him the reminder.
I'm literally trying to log on to Iggy right now to see if I can. I don't know why it won't let me ever log on to fucking whatever.
So all right, so we open. What do we open? Cutoff, hijack, low jack. And we see bet really small on this flop versus big blind defend. They call. We get a 9 of diamonds turn. What are we doing here, guys?
I'm usually checking behind.
Yeah, I like a check as well.
And why are we checking this back?
Because the big blind has a pretty wide range, and that 9 helps his range. And if we're beat already, we're still beat, and he's never folding. But we can have the best hand,
right? And
he's not folding the turn with like his hands that have like 9, 10, 9 jack, because they're gonna want to see a river.
Yep.
To see if they hit the straight.
Yeah, this turn card really interacts with their flop calling range really well.
And I think also 20 big blinds he started the hand whip. We kind of want to get the showdown. And just get our showdown, like real life showdown.
Right. We still have the best hand a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, betting isn't going to necessarily accomplish.
We don't want to get bet shoved on. Like we could hit a 10 here, not a lot, but
right. And an ace can be the best hand too. Maybe even a jack sometimes.
And we expect him to have piled a lot of his middling pairs pre-flop anyway.
So we do check back, and then we see like a near half pot bet. What's the worst hand we're calling here with, or is this the worst hand?
Okay, ask that question again, please.
I was saying, based upon how this hand played out, what's the worst hand we're calling with here, or is this the worst hand?
I mean, I would even have trouble calling with.
Yeah,
I would call pocket jacks.
Why do you call pocket jacks here?
Because I think it's a winning hand more often than not to half pot.
What do you think? What do you think they're betting here? Half pot, like with like that jacks beats.
I'm a bad reg, and so I'm not calling that shit without a king.
I think king is a good call. Obviously, like a jacks is basically like the second, like the worst king in a sense.
But you're still kind of bluff catching with jacks still, right? Like it's not like he's betting a 9.
He could have like 8, 7 of hearts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's like Jacks really only beats bluffs like 8-7 hearts, ace high if they're turning that into a bluff. Maybe like pairs, like pocket fives and stuff.
When you check back the turn, though, I think a 9 should feel confident that they can bet.
You think these people though are
No.
I don't think a 9 would go 4. I think it would more go towards like 32, 31, or 29 even.
3K, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm just telling you what I would do.
Yeah, I would fold ace jack here. I'm a fit.
You'd toss it?
Yeah, I would fold. I would fold it.
I'd fold it too.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
though there is something to be said here about having neither a heart or a diamond in our hand, and also blocking Jack 10.
Oh.
Yes and no.
Yeah,
if he actually had a flush draw, you would have heard more from him. So it's unlikely he actually has a flush draw.
I don't know. That's a good question. Like, do we assume that with the flush draw they would just auto check raise?
Some of them would, yeah, especially certain flush draw combos.
Like, let's go back to the flop action. It's 5,400 in the middle. They have like 19K behind. It's
I
tough.
don't know that you check raise that board with a flush draw though. I don't know. I don't know that you do that.
It depends on the flush draw. Like with 9-10 of hearts, you should check raise. I think.
Yeah.
Jack 9.
Yeah, 9-10. Yeah.
Jack 9, 10. For some of them, you
yeah,
should.
like Jack 9 of hearts, 10-9 of hearts. Like you have the
gut
shot and the flush
draws out. Right. Like we unblock the flush draws, but also his actions block a few of the flush draws. I think. Not necessarily. But then again, you get these guys that also just check pile all their flush draws.
Right.
Especially weaker players. So it's just hard to given the board texture like we talked about and what the turn was, just hard to find a lot of bluffs that we're beating. So I just think in this case, it'd be hard to find a call here.
Even when we go really small here, like 1675 into 54, that's like not even third pot.
It does keep in a lot of hands, but then you're trying to think like, what hands did I keep in? Like 10, like some of them, like that 9 really smacks their shit range.
And do we ever get value owned? Like, are they ever bluffing with like a better hand?
Yeah, like some random like pocket 6s or something.
Pocket 4s. Yeah, was what I was thinking.
Pocket 4s is a better guess. Because I think some people would jam both those hands pre-flop anyway on 20. So I think we have to discount some of those pairs as well.
Yeah, probably pairs like 8s and 7s.
Yeah, I think they would jam pre. Anyway, I think we all answered.
You could make a case for a call, but I don't think.
I think it's speculative still. I think it's I think against a competent reg, like, and
if the 9 was an 8, then I can hop on board. You know what I mean? But not with the 9 out there.
Yeah. So like versus somebody who I think is who's just gonna be very, very like speculative, very floaty, like especially some opponents on like ACR who just have like 0% fold the C bet. Like I would be much more inclined to want to call here in that case than in this exact scenario. If that makes sense. If that makes sense.
Let's see the snap call by Lappy. He never gets bluffed. Oh,
we folded. we got bluffed. I'm terrible.
I mean, rightly so. You made the right fold.
You feel that rage right there, Lappy? Keep it for tonight's stream.
I know, right? I'm feeling it right in the gut, man.
Oh, jeez.
I just can't even believe it. These punk kids.
Did the big blind call too? Is that what I see?
Yeah, small blind, big blind defended. and we get let out at like half
Yeah,
pot.
you need to like when you have people that are in the hand that are on the right side of the screen. Like we
Oh
can't see that.
yeah,
So you
thank
need
you
to move it
guys.
Okay.
over
I
when
appreciate
you,
it.
only when you have them over there. Like if somebody's in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we get let out at, and I think there's merits to both raising and calling here. What do you guys do here?
My default is to call.
If he led smaller, would there be more merits for raising?
If he led like 1,000,
2K.
if he led
yeah.
2K,
2K
Yeah.
to 2K to
would
8K.
just- I would
Yeah.
just consider that a check, you know.
I would think it's a lot of like 7, 8, 10, 9 shit like that that's that I would look into punish for their.
But also you gotta think like if he bets 2K and I still think I can get in stacks, like I think flatting's fine. You know what I mean? Like if I want to keep in bluffs, and he bets 2K and I look at stack to pot and I'm like, okay, well we can still get in stacks if he checks turn, then I'm okay with this. You know what I mean? Like I'm cool. Like if he wants to
Yeah.
set his price pretty low, then like it's still building the pot and I'm keeping him in as a customer.
Right. And there is something to be said here about like blocking top pair, right?
Yeah.
So with our hand, we basically lower the combinations of Jack X that our opponents can have, and we make it less likely for them to have a hand like exactly the hand they have here. I think with like a hand that didn't block top pair, like queens, or obviously kings, aces, I think we'd be more happy to raise, get it in here.
Yeah.
Just because we would assume that almost all Jack X is just not going to be folding. They're just not going to be. Our opponents here just generally aren't going to be capable of folding top pair to one street. Nonetheless,
And there's
two streets.
There's more combos of Jack X.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And it's just really hard for and there's never really leading like 9-8 here, right? Or Jack 10.
I wouldn't say never leading Jack 10, but
You wouldn't say never, or
I would say that some people would lead Jack 10 here. People will like be fearful that you check behind and a queen peels or something.
Yep.
They're like, my two pairs no good.
Ace King got there, baby.
Ace King got there, check fold.
Yeah. But you could lead out in multi-way pots with top two and not be.
You know what I'd like to lead here if I'm in this guy's shoes? I think the ideal hand would be something like pocket sevens.
Yeah.
Where we don't block top pairs and we don't block, top two, and we don't block any of the King X or Queen X, like.
And you're not getting snap folded by too often.
Right.
Especially if you go smart sizing.
And your hand's strong enough to just lead stack off. Obviously. I was just thinking about because I've done some leading in the past and I've actually started doing more leading now. Potential does advocate somewhat of a leading strategy. But mostly when you're in hands with recreationals. Because otherwise it's really hard to balance that.
Right.
So I like it. So I think this lead could be good. I don't think I see this lead anymore and necessarily have to label this guy like a huge whale or a huge fish.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't lead King Jack here, even if maybe against 2 Rex, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't.
I think King Jack is not that
The ideal candidate.
It's not the ideal candidate. It's not our most vulnerable value combo.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what would be our most vulnerable combo though, like something like Jack 6 of hearts or something. Where
no, you didn't open that.
Yeah, well, I guess yeah. No, I'm saying like
the small blind lead
of hands that they could
have.
Oh,
sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, of hands that they could have that are the most vulnerable of their value hands. That you theoretically, if you wanted to have a leading strategy, that theoretically you would want to lead those combos that are the most vulnerable.
You're saying like in a different scenario where he had more blinds and stuff.
Yeah, like potentially being deeper.
I just don't understand the scenario where we give him Jack 6.
Yeah, like, yeah, I know. I'm just talking about in terms of like, in terms of theory, right? Like,
okay,
if he were to have Jack 6, a top pair that does not have a great turn and river playability.
Okay.
Jack 6 would be like the highest, would be like the best.
I would say that Ace Jack would be a better candidate.
You think so though?
Because there's not many turns that Ace Jack's thrilled with, other than the low cards. If it's anywhere between 7 and King, Ace Jack, other than another Jack, obviously, Ace Jack isn't like fist pump like I love that turn card.
But Ace Jack makes one less card above a Jack a good card, or makes.
Well, I think it's also more likely in theory than Jack 6 of hearts.
Right. I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah.
On that.
Well, like if we're going, like
if we're going with how this hand was played, what a villain here in the small blind would actually be flatting, they probably don't have Jack 6 suited.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I'm just thinking, I guess
that is the most vulnerable.
If this is like a limped pot, then it's obviously like more real for them to have like Jack 6 suited here. And if I had Jack 6 suited in the small blind here and it was limped pot, I would definitely be leading on this flop.
Oh, I would not.
You would not?
In a limped pot?
In a limped pot?
Yeah.
Do you not have a limp strategy, or do you not have a lead strategy in limped pots?
Yeah, they just don't come up, I guess, too often. But I multi-way early.
I don't.
Stretchy?
No, I don't.
You don't have a lead strategy in limp pots?
I would.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I would love to develop one, but no, I don't have one. I couldn't just rattle off like, well, this is what I like to lead, And
I don't have it. I would say like I don't want to build a pot with that. Right, like I'm not trying to get in a multi-way pot bloated, out of position.
Yeah, I think in a situation where we're playing against like competent, like thinking regs, having a lead strategy is complicated, and I think you'd have to put a lot more thought and preparation into it, than when we're playing against recreational players.
Oh, yeah. I guess if I'm only getting flatted, then yeah, I'm fine leading top pair versus like a person that's gonna it's just gonna play their hand straightforward. But
right,
you're right. If it's a competent reg that's able to like raise me with the gutter, like I'm gonna be like, I'll pass up the spot of I'd rather just go into bluff catch mode.
Right. So yeah, I think that's kind of most of what I'm referring to when I'm saying like having a lead strategy.
Yeah. Okay.
is when we're against opponents who are recreational, who just aren't really going to be bluffing us very often, but with whom we can lead here and get value, and also deny equity and give protection to our holdings that are like the most vulnerable of our value range.
Right.
Hands like weak jacks. Maybe you could like even say like maybe a hand like 10-9 or 10-8, that we could even potentially turn into a bluff on later streets, and also deny equity, especially versus people's limp ranges who might be like really wide with their limps, right?
Yeah.
Like I think
I like be limping like 6-5 suited, 6-7 suited.
Right. They're just like limping a lot of like their ace X suited and different stuff like that. But that's all theoretical. That's not obviously this exact situation. So we can kind of, I think, move on from that.
Yeah.
Here in this exact situation where we open early position, small blind, big blind, complete, and we see a lead. What are we doing here, guys?
I'm almost always just calling.
Yeah, I like it. We have backdoor straight, backdoor flush. Like we have a very good combo that's gonna play well on turns and rivers.
Like even if a bad card comes.
Wait, what happened here?
I don't know.
Lappy folded.
No.
I don't understand. It says all in.
Yeah, that's weird.
Did we raise? Did we raise? Get it in?
Did you time out? What happened?
I don't know, man.
Weird.
It looks like you raised them on the flop.
You must have jammed.
I guess we raised, got it in. I don't think I like it. Yeah, I think that's what we did though.
No, it just doesn't show it correctly or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's okay. We can go to the next hand. We fold the versus a 3x here.
Oh, I thought that was a min raise. Wow.
And we did we kind of find like
hero?
Did you maybe were you maybe playing a lot of tables and those are two spots where you might not have been paying enough attention?
This is some white magic right here.
Yeah, or white magic, man. That's right, baby.
He has to be pretty tight for you to fold here.
Yeah, I see who this
maybe
guy is.
maybe that's something that you said, this guy's pretty tight and blah blah blah. So we're just gonna find a fold.
I don't know. They're 25, 18, 10. I don't think they're the tightest player at our table.
This looks like a mistake or a misclick.
It may have been a misclick, yeah.
Lappy went to the restroom.
I think I'm almost always defending here, honestly.
I think, yeah.
Or that's true. You might have been on break or something.
We go a little bit more than min here. And we get ripped on by the old Jack 8
off. I'll be right
back. Alright, sounds good. This is always fun when you get ripped on in these spots. Who's the tip person to our left here?
I mean, what are we talking about here? This is an easy fold, right?
Well, no, I know. I'm just looking at like their stats to see what up until this point they were like 16-11.
Oh wow.
They used their image.
They did.
So yeah, so they definitely they must be aware of their image. And we were just really happy to raise here, obviously, and we got punished.
Punished.
But then they What are we ever doing here? I mean, like it's 20K. You're just sticking it in, right?
I think it's fine either way.
Like I don't think that there's too much of a difference between cold calling here and sticking it in. Like, do we ever cold call this and then fold to the original raiser? Like,
No, not at all. But it's more just like trying to think about, well, our opponents who maybe aren't as experienced, what will they think of X or Y? And of course, it's very marginal. Like the spot, like the difference is negligible.
Right.
But yeah, I think kind of go either way.
Yeah, I hear you.
If your flat ever gets the under the gun guy in versus your shove, then you should flat.
Yeah, versus like you, like both things are.
What does that guy have over there? I can't see.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he has king queen, and then you can go back so that we just need to know that he has king queen.
Yep. No, it's okay.
Because now we can't see the other side.
It's fine. The other side really doesn't matter actually, because
they folded.
They're not getting involved here. Versus like a competent reg, flatting here isn't really going to look like weakness really, because this 20k is for most of their stack, and I don't think a competent reg would ever think, oh, the button here is flatting this all in, but planning to fold to my stack if I shove, so I'm gonna go in with ace 8 suited or something. But
no, of course.
But stretch does bring up a good point though, that you just never know what a recreational opponent is going to think about us flatting here.
So, for instance, like they may not think you're going to fold, but yeah, like you said, if this rec sees you like tank for a little bit and then call, will be like, well, you could have sevens, and then maybe they're like, what about my pot odds? I have ace 8 suited. Like I'm going to get in there because I got the right price, man. But if you like insta jam, then they're going to be like, oh, he has ace king or whatever, and then maybe like, even if there's like a 2%, 1% chance that flatting here yields that result, it's easy, easy to do.
Yep, that's true. And I think we did tank, and I think we did. We just went all. But I think we did tank. The first part we got correct. We tanked and then put it in, and ace 8 suited still does the fold, and we win. Nice, always nice to have the ace of clubs when your opponent has the king of clubs.
Hell yeah.
So now we're just picking up hands. These guys are over here, and they just fold through. That always sucks when like you just showed down aces and you get another big hand right away, and they just instantly give you credit for having a hand.
That does suck.
You're like, no, I'm supposed to be opening wider here.
Guys, I don't have it.
I can't have it again.
Come on now. Holy shit.
It's a limped pot here. And I kind of like lead here. This is kind of the spot that I would lead in. In a limped pot with.
Wait, what happened? Under the gun guy limped?
Yep.
And you're just the big blind?
Yep. And I definitely think this is a lead spot. And like I'm 100% sure that Ryan, my coach, would be like, yeah, you just lead here, and then you like lead on like 9s and 10s and clubs, and maybe even 6s sometimes.
Isn't it less favorable with an ace out there to lead into the undergun?
Yeah, but
he technically have more aces than he does.
Technically, yeah, he'll have ace. He'll have some ace X, but
they're gonna be suited if he's limping.
That I don't think that's the majority of his range. To be honest, there's a lot of pairs. There's a lot of broadways. So like maybe a significant chunk of his range actually doesn't like this board.
Wait, how did the action go? I was distracted.
It just went limp pre-flop.
Okay, you did. Okay.
So right now, yeah, exactly. Okay.
Well, I was wondering why you say that he has more aces with his like when he checks, he has more aces.
When Lappy checks, yeah, because he has like
really
ace. He has like ace 2, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5, ace 6, ace 7, ace 8. he's not going to raise those hands versus an under the gun limp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he's going to have the offsuit ones while the under the gun's not going to have ace 2 off, ace 3 off. They're more likely to have like ace 2 suited, ace, and there's less combos.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
our hand plays decently well on turns and rivers here, with backdoor straight and backdoor flush, and we have an over to everything except top pair here. So I definitely think this is a lead, and I think this is a really big mistake for me not to lead. When he bets, then we just have to fold, and the hand's over. Like,
so that's why you lead.
Precisely, because like our hand just isn't like strong enough to check call here. I guess you could justify a check raise, but if we want to check raise, why not just lead here in the first place? And it's less expensive to take the initiative that way than with how many chips we'd have to put in when we check raise. You know.
I think if you were of the mindset to check raise, you would realize that leading, you know what I mean? Like, I think you were just playing, and if you had thought it through like you just did now, you would have led, and you would never check raise because you would already have thought that through. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think also, if you check raise, it's the same amount, probably, maybe even less if you just 2-barrel. Like if you just 2-barrel, it's going to cost you less than check raise.
Then a check raise, exactly.
And he's folding a lot more to 2 barrels than a check raise.
Ooh, okay.
I think so. I agree with that. So yeah,